Help Action Needed, a D&D podcast.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Help Action Needed, a D&D podcast. My name is Sean Harty, and I will be our GM today, as I always am, and with me is our stellar cast, who are going to introduce themselves now.
Hey, I'm Kate Pizarczyk-Johnson, and I play Nori.
I'm Dan Johnson, and I play Cass.
I'm Julie Perez, and I play Frog.
The last time we left our nice little crew of friends, and their in-game friends, Seth and Elto, the brothers that we all definitely know apart and know the names of, they had just come out of Nori's Limu's tiny hut as they were traveling towards the Twilight Sanctuary off in the distance, the nice little temple there. Seeing footprints and indicators of prowling monstrosities in the area, they decided to take a close look out, which was a good plan, because it's not their typical course of action, and they actually communicated something for once, which was nice. Especially when they got attacked by a chimera and some of the cockatrices. They had absolutely nothing happen, and Frog definitely didn't almost die by falling to her death unconscious from a very large height, but she didn't, so it's fine, because of a very lucky nat 20 roll. And now the party is taking a short rest inside of a little crevice in the wall. It has a path that leads deeper into the mountainside, if they choose to investigate it, or Nori had previously flown up a bit and seen the temple not that far away, especially because all of you are capable of flying if you chose, from where you're currently at. Seth and Elto are not capable of flying, but the rest of you seem to have flying magic stuffs. Or had, at some point. Julie. Anyway, players, I turn it now to you.
So, how long of a walk/flight/trail walk thing would it be to actually get to the temple from where we're at right now?
You'd be there in under an hour if you all, booked it. Not even, running, booking it, just, moving with purpose, booking it.
Okay. Maybe we just head there and then do some extra recon, because Julian and Dion did mention that this temple hasn't been visited in a while. Yeah, so maybe we just do a little bit of recon. We can send Quizzle in, however far Quizzle can go, and maybe Quizzle do a little bit of recon for us, and I can try and fly around and see what I see. That sounds good to you, Frog and Cass?
Sounds good.
Are you volunteering my squirrel?
I am going to ask you kindly if Quizzle can. I will not automatically volunteer, particularly because I have learned in the past that if you overwork certain beings, they may try and create a union and then unionize against you. It's a long story. I don't think we want to get into it. But Quizzle has his, her, or their rights. I don't even know what Quizzle's pronouns are. Anyway, sorry. I'm getting on my little tangent.
I started walking away at after the first sentence. Just sort of start walking towards the temple.
Perfect. Let's go. And I'll take out my notebook and write continuation of making sure that I just bombard Cass with random tidbit.
While they're doing that, Frog, the brothers would be sticking behind, kind of looking, and you'd see Seth turn to you and just think, there's probably some fun stuff in there. If that big thing was able to take you guys down, it probably took down some cool things and has some cool stuff if you wanted to check it out. Not saying you, we gotta, but it could be cool.
Frog, thinking about how she just almost died, straight up, is gonna be no thanks, but we can stay on the lookout here if you wanna go in.
The other two are already kind of walking away, so I don't really think we got the chance to do that. Maybe we can come back later. I think it'd be cool. They're like,
Maybe.
because what if there's like a really cool sword in there? It'd be cool.
Could be.
I thought you all had a sense of adventure, but that's fine. And Steph's like, yeah, we can get going. I think Nori's already chasing Cass up the hill anyway, and she seems to be the one knowing the path forward, so we probably don't want to lose then. And he starts walking out the cave mouth.
Okay. Frog will follow and run to catch up with Nori.
As Frog is catching up with Nori, she will probably see Nori jotting in her notebook a very important note that if I continue to bother Cass, he'll eventually just walk away. I just need to bombard him with tons of information. Does this happen with all humans? ? And I'll make a mental note to try it with no one later. Maybe Julian, but I don't really want to bother the brothers. I'm not going to subject Frog to this type of torture. Because I like Frog. Cass, I still don't know about you yet.
Okay. You all make your way up. Can you all make me a survival or nature or perception check, please?
22.
Yeah.
For perception, if that matters.
Your
Thank you.
survival, your perception.
Yeah.
Wow, I suck at all of these. That's impressive.
19.
Okay.
A 1 for a 3.
Okay. Frog and Nori, you both have paid enough attention to your surroundings to know what sort of disturbances in the ground indicate that there are probably creatures in the area, and know how to navigate the path and which ways to avoid as you're doing a couple switchbacks and stuff getting up the tower. Cass, what are you looking at? What are you doing on a 3? What's happening?
Honestly, I'm just probably hands in pockets, looking down at my shoes as they're scuffing the dirt on the path, just walking forward, trying to pace myself just enough to stay ahead of Nori so she doesn't ask me any more questions.
Okay, cool. You don't cause any issues, but were there to be something in front of you that the party needed to avoid, you would not spot it. How did the brothers do? Let's see how they do. Alto did really well. Seth didn't. Not well enough to combat Frog and Nori's aid, but over half the group is doing a good job navigating this. And if you eventually make it up to a very large temple carved into the side of a hill. It seems to be part of the mountain itself, but also part building, as it's just able to jut out, probably very much like Patronelle itself, carved into the mountains instead of trying to carve the mountains and then make something out of it. The front of it has that imaging of change of the sun to the moon, of the night sky to the day sky, a bunch of things indicating passaging of time and moving through one stage of life into another. And it's a very large building. It has nice marbled black and white doors. All of the pillars seem to be supported by the same black and white marble columns. And it feels like the air has not been breathed in centuries. This place feels out of time and a little wrong. Not that anything's wrong about it, it just feels so untouched that it's not a place people are meant to be.
I am going to cast Detect Magic.
Uh-huh. On that, there wouldn't be any active magical forces here that would be really sending it up. The whole place seems to be under the effect of the sanctuary spell in general. But it doesn't seem like anything is actively casting it. It seems like it's just a holy enough site that is what this place gives off naturally.
Okay. And can I also either use the perception check I already had, or re-roll to see, or investigation, whatever it would be, to see if I can spot anything that would look like signs of life in a way. So basically what you were making us roll for on the way up here, but
Yep.
actually entering into the vicinity or around the temple.
Yeah. Riding your old one. It seems like there's still signs that things have been around here, but it doesn't seem like anything has like ever tried to claw down the doors. It doesn't seem like things are trying to break the building. It doesn't even seem like the winds up here are weathering it. It seems like this place is just preserved without being touched. It doesn't seem like anything's been here recently.
Okay. And what time of day is it?
You all set out pretty early in the morning, and then you sat in a cave and took a mini nap. It's probably about 5 in the afternoon, so the sun was just starting to reset.
Okay. Since we're all here, Cass, do you think Quizzle could maybe just do a little bit of recon for us? Just to make sure nothing's gonna, like, jump out at us and go, surprise! But maybe in, like, a more lethal way?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So I will poof Quizzle back into existence, and so we're just sort of in. Are we in the temple yet, or are we like outside of it still?
I believe you're outside unless Nori tried to open it.
Yeah, we were still outside of it.
Okay, so are you going to watch me then? Because like if I'm gonna see through him, like I need to ragdoll myself.
Oh, Cass, do you trust me? Yes, I will watch you.
As she says that, I'll give a look to Seth and Alto and pretty much be like, please don't let me die. And just switch into Quizzle and just have him sort of I'm assuming there's the main entrance. Does it look like there's any other entrances aside from that Quizzle could reach?
He'd have to climb up a pretty tall amount of the building to get to like some of the windows up top that have ledges that he could try and like get in through. But being carved directly into the cliff face itself, it's not like there's like back entrances or side entrances or stuff. It's really just like this big facade of a building.
Okay, I'll just have him go through the front, but he'll like skirt the perimeter when he goes in.
Okay, so you're gonna open the front door?
Well, I'm assuming I would need to for him to get in. Yeah.
You could try and have him break a window or something.
I mean, one of you guys will have to open it because I'm not going to be able to.
Detect magic, in theory, would have told us if there was like some type of trap at the door. No, okay.
I'd tell you if there was some kind of magic at the door, yeah.
But a trap doesn't need to be magic. Trap could be non-magical. Could just be like a big old mace to the face as soon as you open the door.
I'll go and open the door.
Alright, cool. Yeah, when you put your hand on it, you feel like the silver pine cone in your armor start glowing, and just it pulses with the same kind of color your magic does as the door slowly opens in front of you. Sliding, like, opening, like, big ways, like French doors.
I wonder if someone else could have opened the door. Anyway, and then I'll go and stand next to Cass, so that way, he can ragdoll it, as he likes to say, and let Quizzle go inside.
Frog, what are you doing at this time?
Frog would be talking to Seth. Why is it so hard to keep them straight? No,
I don't
not Seth.
know. Which one are you talking to?
The one who I have the connection with.
Yes, that's Seth.
Okay, I thought so, but then I was second guessing myself. Okay. Would be talking with Seth and asking what he would hope for inside of the little cave if we went in. Like, what would be the best thing that he would like to find?
Well, I think the best thing that we could find is a way to fix the curse. So, if that's
Great,
really what
okay.
you're asking, but like, I don't think that's your question. The
No,
coolest thing I think we could probably actually find. I mean, that thing was cool. Maybe there's like a dead one, and we could turn its dragon head into like a flail or something. That'd be cool.
Frog thinking to herself and not to him. Like, I guess that would be a definition of cool. And then we'll be like, yeah, okay, to Seth. And then say, well, maybe we can stop on the way back.
What would you want to find? What would be the coolest thing you would find in there?
I don't know. Gold would be pretty cool, and maybe some fun weapons.
You don't have like a grand wish of what the coolest thing you could find would be?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe we would find more creatures, which I don't think would be cool because they would probably try to kill us, but it would be cool if we found like a baby creature and then could raise it and then have it be on our side. So maybe that would be the coolest thing.
No offense, but you're really bad at raising things, if your frog is any indication.
He is his own self. I did not raise him.
He did point out that the only things he's learned from the three of you.
Okay, well, everybody messes up their first creature. The second creature will be better.
When you see Seth laugh, like Alto asks him what he's laughing about, and he conveys it to him. And so Seth will look at you and go, I hope you never become a parent, Frog. Okay, oh, looks like Nori got the door open. You can see as Nori pushes the door open, Quizzle is able to like slip right on inside. Cass, you would see as Quizzle slips in, it seems to be like even the air inside has halted. Like there's dust particles that should be like falling to the ground the way that they do through sun and moonbeams, but they're just floating timelessly in the sky. Doesn't seem like they're even like floating up and down like kind of current or anything. They're just paused. The entire royal chamber inside, not royal chamber, but the entry chamber inside, seems to be made up of that continued like black and white marbling effect that's going on across the entire thing. And you see several rooms jutting off in several different directions from the main antechamber. All of them seem to be very regal, very frozen, and they all have like the same depictions of like nature and change. Like you see the seasons, like one wall is going from like winter all the way through to the next winter. You see one like the cycle of like night to day to night and back again. And every chance that they have to like make murals or something on the wall, everything's to be about change and just accepting the moments when things are out of balance and trying to find the next step in them. You don't see any people and you don't see any enemies.
Okay. I'll sort of have Quizzle just continue just around the perimeter, just keeping an eye out. And I believe I can keep the telepathic connection, like being able to see and hear what he hears around 100 feet. So I'll let it get to just about 100 feet and then sort of let him go off on his own. And I'll snap back to my body, just keeping him probably within like a 250 foot range so he doesn't get too far away.
Okay. Cool. What are the rest of you doing?
Being offended.
No, you have no right to be offended.
I disagree.
Nori, what are you doing?
Is my silver pine cone still glowing? Or did it only glow?
No, when you took your hand off the door, it stopped.
Okay. Try and say a little prayer to Titania, so that way I can ask for guidance and maybe describe the intentions I have. Not that I think that she would view what we're doing as negative, but maybe just having like a deity or luck or karma kind of on our side, just in case there is something inside. Old temples scare me, and that's Kate not Nori, but still, it's bleeding into my character. But I'll just do that, and then kind of once maybe Cass gives the all clear, I'll lead the way inside.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and make me a religion check.
Oh man, I'm really dumb. Okay. Nope, that's the wrong one. Where the hell did it go?
Make it with your wisdom stat, not your intelligence stat. So add like whatever you have for wisdom and your proficiency, not intelligence. Yeah.
18.
Yeah. So
21.
22 total? 21, okay.
20.
What do you say in your prayer? What do you ask for?
I will first tell Titania, thank you for getting us all here, and for Frog not getting yeeted off of the side of a cliff, and her surviving. I will also ask Titania for guidance in trying to find more answers about Seth and Alto and anything surrounding all of the fuckery that's been going on in the church, and as much as I can find and preen from the information, I want to.
Okay. So on 21, you won't get all of that from a prayer. Is there
sure.
one thing you specifically want to highlight for a response from her?
If she knows a direction where we should head inside of the temple to try and find the information that we're looking for.
Okay. Yeah, you get back, like, she doesn't directly communicate with you because she never really does, but you get, like, this sense of pulse that, like, you know deep in the temple is going to be, like, the old records room, essentially, which is going to have a lot of details on the church itself and the gods and the belief and everything, which you would have, like, found a little bit of when you were in the Solana Town library, and you got, like, the information that told you that this place existed in the first place. Also, from your research, you're going to imagine most, if not all of it, is going to be in Elvish. So something that you all might need to, like, even if it's stuff you have to take to read, you just know that that's primarily who would have been here. You also get the sense that the place is guarded by a guardian of some kind, that as long as you don't mess anything up, it shouldn't be triggered, and, like, you're meant to be there. Like, you opening the door allowed you to, like, enter in, but if any of the people that you're with do anything that act against the ideals of your, like, domain and your order, that it might upset the building and the guardian might come to life.
Okay. I will thank her. Thank you, Titania. And kind of relay some of that information to the group and say, please don't stray. I know that I am the one that is silly, and I have it coming to me, just not right now. Throw snowballs at me later. Throw me into the cave on the way back. I don't care. Just right now, let's not. And my hand gestures will be very flamboyant to try to convey that we should not fuck around. And we should be as professional as possible. And lead the way into the temple.
Frog, after hearing Nori say that, is gonna be like, oh shit, I guess we better take this serious.
The brothers kind of look at each other like, it'll be kind of fun watching them have to, like, function. This is gonna be interesting. Yeah, and everyone is able to follow Nori inside. When you walk in, Nori, you would feel it more than see it. No one else would have any registration of it. That it seems to be, like, on a different plane. There's just a spectral figure hovering above the ground. That's probably the guardian creature that she described. It seems to be some sort of cleric. not really sure its thing. Doesn't have the traditional like Twilight garb that you all have, and doesn't seem to have a direct divine connection, but just seems to be like some sort of clerical spirit hovering in the air, waiting to be awakened if it's needed. In this main room.
And if needed, meaning like protection, or like we
Yep.
could potentially talk to it?
No. Oh, you could try talking to it, but the very much the hey, don't fuck up or it's gonna come for you. If needed.
Hey. I'm gonna look up at it, nod, like the little dude nod that guys do, obviously, anyway, towards it, and try and go in the direction that I felt Titania kind of pulling me, or us.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be over to the, as you walk in, to like the right. There's a wing that goes off to the left, there's a wing that goes straight back, but you'd be pulled to the right based off like the original pulse that you got. Are you like telling your companions anything extra, or are you just kind of trusting that you know how to lead?
I'm gonna try and trust that I know how to lead, and maybe do like the tour guide, like the college tour guide walk, where like I walk backwards a couple times, and I'm like, on the left hand side, this is da 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 da, and on the right hand side, you'll see da 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 da, and make up like a little bit of story while nervously sweating. The bullets.
What's the story you're coming up with? What are the rooms you are saying do or do not exist?
Well, what is some of the art depicted in this side of the hallway?
Yeah, this side would be a lot of mural, like a lot of it's like life and death murals, like pictures of entire generations growing up and then dying, and then the next generation growing up in their place.
Nori, attempting to bullshit her way through this, will say, on the right-hand side here, you will see life depicted in its greatness, and how it then falls to death, and then we are reborn again. And then, yeah, that's basically it. And then I'm gonna turn back around and just kind of like hunch my way and continue walking in silence.
As soon as you turn around, I'm leaning down to Frog and be like, why is she talking like that? Like, aren't we trying to be like quiet? I'm confused. Also, why is she so nervous?
Frog is just gonna whisper back and be like, I have no idea, but she's kind of scaring me.
Yeah, she's like almost acting more weird now than she normally does. Like it is actually concerning.
Right. Frog will just keep following Nori.
Nori, both brothers seem to be appreciating your history lecture. Like you see them both like looking to the murals, looking back to what you're saying, like, okay, that seems cool. They're believing everything you were saying about what they know you're weird, but they have no reason to assume you would lie about your own teachings of your domain, whether or not they're aware that you were never fully trained in your domain or not. Doesn't matter.
You know, that's fair, but I'm going to be telling the truth as much as I can. I will only be embellishing my way of telling the story, not the actual facts in it.
Okay. Cool. Nice. Yeah, then you all are able to walk, and at the end of this, hall, and you'd all have felt yourself like lowering into the ground as you went. Like this hall is on like a slant downwards as it's cutting down into the earth. You come to a large antechamber that has a bunch of small, like little divots and nooks into the side where like different statues are displayed. Go ahead and make a history check, anyone here. Nora, you can make it at advantage. No, Nora, you can make it flat. Everyone else make it at disadvantage.
This is a guidance opportunity, correct?
You could guide yourself, yeah.
Would there be any reason that I would know of that we can't cast magic in this area?
Nope.
Okay. Oh. 7.
Okay.
7 as well.
And Frog?
9.
There's a bunch of statues of people around here.
Great.
The stairs in the middle of the antechamber is also a spiral staircase going down into the earth. On the other end of the hallway seems to have the path continuing, and Nora, you're not really sure where the pole goes from here. Like, you knew it was this direction, but you're not sure like if it would be down, if it would be through. You're just like, or like, this is clearly like the right wing of it, but beyond that, you weren't able to get like hard GPS directions.
Okay. So it's either down and around or through?
You'd imagine, yeah.
Okay. I will then do my little backwards walk and say, so, now we've come to the point where I have no idea what the hell we should do. So, how about we go through, and then if we don't find anything, we go down. Does that sound okay? Yes, Cass?
Just so we're all aware, what exactly are you looking for here?
I thought I made that pretty clear, but apparently my communication has been off today. Hopefully there should be information in this particular antechamber about the brothers and the magic that glows off of them, the stuff that's been going on in the church with Gemini, and all that jazz. There should be something here, hopefully, that gives us some more answers or maybe additional context that we can provide to the brothers, and then we will save the day! And so, yeah, let's continue walking. Do you have any further questions that I can answer while walking backwards towards the throughway?
Yes, I do actually. So, why do we think we're getting answers to that here? Isn't this a temple for your clerical items, things?
Yes. And the druids told me no. Someone told me the things that I need to know are involved potentially with the Twilight clerics.
Okay, so you did have a lead here. We're not just going in blind. Like,
It was
you may not have...
Miskatonic, right?
I think so.
Miskatonic.
Yeah. I think you also had a time when you talked to Titania about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, no, that's fine. Like I said, I just wanted to verify exactly what we're doing, because I feel like you guys sometimes don't fill me in on everything that you guys discuss.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Also, when you say we need to be careful, are careful of where we're stepping, or...
Oh, no, just, don't purposely destroy anything, or, take Titania's name in vain, or say anything bad about the Twilight clerics, and then Nori will just go on, this whole rant of things not to do, because she's very panicked about the, scary creature that was in the center of the temple. And then hopefully my spiel will then lead us to the throughway.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, are you doing anything as Nori is saying all this? Or are you doing anything when Cass says, maybe you don't fill me in on everything?
Frog will just look away so she cannot make eye contact during that. And then we'll just keep walking, kind of turning to the brothers to be like, I'm not involved in this, and I'm just gonna stay over here.
Did you like the statues? They were cool looking.
Mm-hmm. They were statues.
Okay.
I don't know anything about them, though.
Just for context here, just for our knowledge, how big are these? Are these human-sized statues, or are these monstrous?
Oh, yeah. No, they're 8 to 10 feet. They're clearly of humans. They're not monstrous, but they're not they're probably not to scale of the people themselves.
Yeah, they're not 20-foot stone versions.
No.
It's slightly bigger, slightly enlarged.
Yep.
Did Seth and Alto roll to see if they knew them? Could I potentially ask them
no.
if they know anything
They
about
didn't.
it?
They know nothing about them. They don't even have a chance.
Okay. Okay, sounds good.
You all have all studied various things.
Yeah.
And had a chance. They have not.
Yeah. It was worth a shot. They're old.
They're younger than Nori. Yeah. You all make your way through, Nori being a tour guide, and you come to like what's essentially a bricked up building of black glass. You see on the other side there is like all of the tomes and everything that you would think you would need, but there seems to be a magic wall preventing anyone from getting through.
Mm-hmm. Can I go up to this wall and touch it?
Sure. It feels extremely cold. It does not activate like your pinecone did to the front door.
Okay. Cool.
Can I go touch it?
Sure. It feels extremely cold.
Okay, just curious.
Would my
Yes, you want to touch it?
Amy Catonic is very cold, so I was just wondering.
That's a good point, yeah.
would my
Valid.
detect magic still be up?
It's been more than 10 minutes, so no.
Biscuits. Okay. I still have some spells. Can I try? I have to make sure I actually. I'm gonna think. Someone else try something.
I do an Arcana check on it, see if I can figure out what it is.
There you go.
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
Oh god, I'm an idiot. Why did I suggest this?
Who can say?
7. No, sorry, 10.
It's a wall. It's like it definitely has a magical feature to it, but you're not really sure how to like. It doesn't give off a distinct school of magic or anything, and it just doesn't seem to be like. It doesn't seem like a spell is cast, or it doesn't seem like there's something like warding it. It seems like something about the glass is innately magic.
Gotcha.
Okay, Frog, seeing Cass think really hard about this and then say nothing, is going to also do an Arcana check.
Okay.
Wow. 30?
Okay, yeah. On a 30, it feels like the glass itself is clearly magical. And it feels
Okay.
like it's got some sort of lock somewhere else in the place. Like there's something here that the people that have proven themselves to have access to this room magically have access to the room. So it's not like you need to find a key or an item to open it, you all need to find approval. You also know it could be dispelled and you can just open it if you try hard enough.
That seems like something we shouldn't do. Okay. Frog will share this with Nori.
So we have to prove ourselves. Yep, great. So this is like the last place in the through direction we can go.
Mhm.
Well, maybe we go downstairs, see what's down there, or see if we can tap anything else in this room. I don't want to quite dispel it yet, just in case. Based on the fact that Frog can tell if we're worthy, we can get through.
Yeah, looking around, you don't see like any buttons, you don't see any like founts, you don't see anything in this area that would indicate there's just a quick little like, "Hi, wall, I'm good to go," sort of sigil or anything.
Okay. Well,
Also, as you're looking around, you would see that the cleric is no longer floating in the front hall and now is like floating by the stairs.
great. Let's go down the stairs. Woo!
And just to be clear, the glass wall, I'm assuming that's like floor to ceiling. There's like no gaps at top or anything.
No.
It's just full. Okay.
No, just a full wall of glass. A very pretty black glass, but a full wall.
All right. Well, I mean, you're You're the expert here, so I think we should probably follow you.
Oh, never mind. That could get us copyrighted. Down the stairs we go, down the stairs we go. That won't. That was just my
Okay.
little theme tune.
Cool. Yeah, you start descending the staircase, and it has this weird feeling where, like, halfway, or maybe it's only a couple feet, or maybe it's been a couple of hours. You can't really tell how long you've been walking down the stairs for. But it also, at some point, feels like you're kind of falling a little bit, even though you never lost your footing on them. But then it feels like you are just walking, like you're walking down a flight of stairs, but the world itself seems to have flipped upside down. And there's a whole lot here that's just, the further you go, it feels more natural to keep going, but more wrong to be in the world.
Anyone else getting like?
It's fine. It's fine. We just keep going. It's okay. Dun da da dun da da dun da da dun da da. Nori will just.
You'd hear Alto picks up. Cass, I don't know what you were gonna say, but I think yes.
Yeah. Okay. I was about to say, is it anyone else getting like major Amy vibes again? Like weird vibes on this, or is that just me?
It's fine. Dun dun da dun dun da dun.
All right.
Quietly. Dun da dun dun da dun.
All right. Let's continue.
Frog, are you adding anything to any conversations here? Or are you trying to do anything to like figure out what's going on, or are you simply panic existing?
Panic existing and thinking, this feels like Amy Catonic.
Yeah. Eventually, Nori, you, I imagine, are the first to make it down. You do hit like solid ground, and you seem to be in an entirely inverted version of the temple you just came from. Like, you are walking on like the ceiling, but you're still on the floor. The marble pattern that was like swirls of black marble with white inside, there's now swirls of white marble with black inside. When you move to like what was the right, it's now the left. Everything seems to be inverted.
Do I spot where the being, the extra cleric, is?
No, you don't see it down here. If it is down here, it's not near you all.
Can I see if there's, or is there anything around us?
I mean, everything that was in, you're back in like the statuary corridor. The books are over to the one side. There's still like the hall back into town. The life and death murals now are like in reverse, where like it starts at someone's funeral and then grows like down to their childhood and then back up to like their parents' funeral and goes in a loop that way.
So does that imply that we can get back to the wall, but on the opposite side now?
Say that with different words.
Like, can we, since it's all inverted, is there like the wall, but like downstairs wall?
Can anyone help Julie here?
Let's go to the room where the wall was in the inverted temple that we're now in.
Yes.
Yes.
That glass wall?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Got it. I had no idea what you were trying to say there, Frog, or Julie. And your hand gestures were not helping. Yeah, you're able to head over that way. It's the same trek back, and it doesn't seem like the same room. Like, there's no glass wall here, but there's also not the same, like, wealth of knowledge that you had seen above. It has a bunch of books, but Nora, you know that these are not, like, the super secret arcane books and everything.
I wonder if this is the entrance we would get if we did not have a Twilight person with us. Like, if we somehow got in. You know? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but then if we had me, right? Like, we should be able to get through the wall. I don't know. How am I supposed to prove myself down here? I can, like, try and fly upside down. That feels weird. Do I feel like a tether pulling me anywhere else in this upside down world?
You kind of feel the opposite. Like, you feel like your connection's, like, it's not gone, as in there's nothing with you, but it feels like you're on your own, and your choices matter a lot more than anyone guiding you.
Could we be in Gemini's land? Anyway, what were the other directions we could go in the actual temple itself?
So if you went, like, essentially now forward, which would be backwards, you would make it back to the main antechamber where you all walked in, and there was a path to the left, and there was a path forward.
Maybe we would just go explore those options, because I don't think there's anything in this room that's gonna be worth our while.
Yeah, again, you're the expert here, so I'll follow your lead. Frog, are you still good? You look a little, you look concerned, more than normal.
No, we're good.
All right. As we're walking towards, so we're going back to the main antechamber to go to the left, which would now be to the right. No, it'd still be to the left. Sorry.
Whatever way we didn't go in the left versus right, we will go that way.
Okay. But I do while we're walking. So you need to be in quotes, and I will do in the air, like air quotes, worthy to get past that wall. But I mean, what would your domain, right? Is that what your like sort of groups are called? What would your domain define as worthy exactly?
Exactly. I don't know. I wasn't officially trained. I mean, I feel like being like a good person and also understanding the like reciprocal part of life and death and how it can also just like blend together, but also be respectful of one another. You know, so I mean, in theory, but no one has to die.
Wait. You weren't fully like, have you just been winging it this whole time?
No. I just haven't gone to like an actual school. I was trained by the cleric head back at my village, and so I've just always had a very close connection to Titania regardless.
How old are you again?
60.
And
Sorry, no. That's what I thought.
Insight check.
Yeah. Roll deception there, Nori. The cleric who's canonically over 250 years old. 60. Wait, Cass, take that at advantage, and Nori, take that at disadvantage. Because Cass, you know how old Nori is. Or at least how old Nori has told you she is in the past.
Okay. 17, still at disadvantage.
Let me think. What'd you say? Insight, right?
Yeah.
It is.
Well, you said insight.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, insight check.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nori may be lying because this world is weird and maybe she's only 60 down here for some reason, but you're like, no, you have told us how old you are. You've told us your entire life story with your husband. You have told us your entire life story with a human friend. Like, you're not 60.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm just gonna ignore that whole point there. But how long ago was it that you were trained? Would you say, like, when you were like pretty young, like?
It was during the war.
Okay, so it's been a hot second. So, can you remember anything about your teachings or like anything that would help us here? I mean, we're having this conversation as we're walking. So, Sean, if we would be there by now, like, we can cut it because it's just like me trying to jog her memory of, hey, what are we doing?
I don't know if I would have learned anything. That would be...
Yeah, I don't think you would have learned anything tied to, like, actual doctrines and teaching other than the stuff that you've learned when you try and research the temples through your books and stuff. Which is kind of what you're saying there, like, knowing life cycles, knowing change, knowing transition, knowing that it's okay to give in to doubt. Like, that kind of stuff you've learned from your teachings in the material plane of what the Twilight Clerics were when they were around. But your order died out during the war. There hasn't been anybody in the material plane really as a Twilight Cleric since, and the only people that you know were trained of from the Fae who are like, is there. So yeah, you wouldn't have much actual training.
Okay, Cass, not everyone can have this really cool backstory with your little lantern and Quizzle. Some of us grew up rough. Just kidding, it really wasn't that bad. I just didn't have anybody in Twilight Clerics kind of like called to me because there was so much death in the war. And, I have this like whole brother thing that like maybe is tied to it too. It's fine. Trauma. So, anyway, what's on like this side of the temple?
Very abrupt.
The side of the temple, as you're walking back in, would have now one, instead of going from night to day, it goes in reverse from day to night. The other side, instead of the seasons, it's now the year of the calendar painted backwards. And you would have just finished. Now it would start at a funeral scene on the path that you walked by. Frog, what are your takes on everything Nori is saying?
Frog is just generally confused and not really understanding anything that's going on right now because there's just so much happening all at once. And she's just kind of following whatever Nori says because at this point she kind of just seems like she's raving.
Okay, cool. You would all be able to see, once you get back to that main chamber, there's a staircase that goes up. Doesn't go, like, it goes into the ceiling, to where you're not sure, because in the real world, there's not a staircase that went down in this room. And then there are still the two hallways, but they're both much shorter than they appeared when you were in the first part of the temple that you were all in.
Let's go up? Maybe? Alright, let's go. And I'll just start leading the way.
Okay.
Also, what's the lighting in here? Is it like dark, or can we just like see fine?
It's a weird feeling of though the sun has just set, but there's no natural light. So it's like that right after sundown, when you can still see, but within a couple of seconds it'll be really dark. But it never goes really dark.
So you're saying it's constant twilight, Sean?
Yeah. That is how the Twilight Cleric Temple works.
Well, I will lead us up this staircase hallway.
Okay. Yeah, you go up the hallway the staircase going directly up, and then you all just kind of you are walking up a set of stairs, and then you blink and you're walking on a straight line that extends as a staircase unravels itself forward until you get to a new room that just has a different set of hallways coming off of it.
This is really forking great. Wow. Yeah. I am so lost.
Okay,
oh, man.
hold on. Why don't we just process of elimination this? This is a hallway full of rooms. Why don't we go check the other ways to see if we can completely cross those off of things that we need to sort of investigate?
You mean downstairs
Yes.
the two ways? Okay.
Yes. Why don't we go into the other one, not the up, the other direction, and see what's in there before we start diving into all these rooms?
Yeah. Let's go do that.
You're heading back equivalently downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, are you going to go as a group to each room, or are you going to split up and go one, two of you go to one, two of you go to the other?
I still will get lost.
True, but I still have sending, so if something goes awry...
Okay.
Well, I guess, never mind. That's forking dumb. Let's all just go together just in case. And then we'll do a little quick check.
Would you go down the seasons hallway first, or would you go down the night and day timeline first?
night and day.
Alright, cool. When you get to the end of that, you come to a thick black fog that has a bunch of little glimmering beacons inside of it. There doesn't seem to be anything on the other side that you can see with your eyes. If you wanted to reach your hand out to try and interact with it, you could. It's at this point impossible to tell if it's a curtain of smoke or if it's something disguising a room or if it's something magical that you would all run into and something would happen. It just seems like a strange fog curtain in front of you.
I will go in first. Or I'll put my hand in. Sorry.
Yeah. Make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
That's Earth.
Constitution. I have 2 Constitution. Don't fail me now. Dirty 20.
Cool. On that, you get to pick. You feel as you put your hand through, the smoke just kind of enter your hand and go straight up to your mind. What memory do you allow the wall to see of yourself?
And before, you had mentioned earlier that here it seemed like my choices or our choices really mattered as compared to a deity. Kind of, if that makes
less
sense.
Anyone. It's not so much that people here are going to be giving you help. It's make your own way, prove your own worth, sort of thing.
Okay. I will give the mist one of the challenging memories that I have, since it's kind of on my mind since rambling with Cass about my brother, but learning the news that he had passed away in the war.
Okay. You don't feel it taken from you or anything, but you do feel the smoke retract a little bit as your hand is not hitting such a hard barrier of it, and if you choose to pass through the wall, you can.
Can I say something as I'm passing through?
Sure.
It's kind of fun, Amy Catonic vibes, and I'll pass through.
I'll just look to Frog after she goes through and be like, I don't know if that was supposed to incentivize us to go, but I sort of just want to chill here. And when I say that, I'll just sort of follow her in.
You're following her in through?
Yep.
Cool. Frog, are you following?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, can you both make me con saves, please?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Would it matter in this instance with my eyes of night being able to see with dark vision?
This isn't because it's too dark to see through. This material is just impossible to see through.
Okay.
It kind of the same of if it's dark out, your eyes adjust to it being dark out, but if somebody ties a black blanket over your head, you're not seeing through the blanket. That sort of thing.
14.
12.
Cool. Both of you, please either describe for me the most terrifying memory you had or the memory where you felt the smallest and most defeated in your lives.
I feel like those are both the same for Frog, which would be, the murder of her mother that we've already experienced multiple times.
That's perfectly fine.
Poor Frog! Getting re-traumatized constantly.
Uh-huh. Yep, and Cass?
What were the options again?
Either the most terrifying moment or the spot where you felt the most defeated and small.
Probably the moment I felt the most defeated and small. Probably our first actual conflict together where everyone was making it off the ship and I got knocked out right at the end and I believe Dolly had to carry me out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. You both feel those like pulled into the forefront of your mind. Not taken from you, not stolen from you, not acted upon, but as you pass through, just that's the thought that gets pulled to the forefront of your mind as you walk through. How are our lovely little brothers doing? Ooh, they got a nat 1 and a 12. Either way, they don't succeed. You see them both look severely sad. Like, for them, it's kind of the same as Frog of, that moment that we never really stop thinking about and living down? Frog, you recognize a very familiar look on their face as they step through next to you and Cass. Nora, you're fine.
That was fun, right? What lays before us?
Yeah. As you walk in, it seems to be a botany lab. There are lots of plant trimmings, there are lots of, fertilizers and stuff, and there is, a pot on one side that has, the most dry soil you would ever see in your life that has a plant living in it. And then on the other side, a perfectly preserved little terrarium of what should be the perfect growing condition full of dead plants.
So, what happened to you all, if you don't mind me asking?
I really don't want to talk about it.
Okay, what would you say maybe the message was from the vision?
I'm useless.
Oh, Cass, you're not useless. No, I'm not going to. Never mind.
Are you actually trying to touch my shoulder? Because you're rubbing my hip at this point.
I will fly up and I will pat Cass on the shoulder.
Aw.
You're not useless. See? Look at this plant. Wow. It has the driest of soil, but look how beautiful it is.
Yeah, they're all dead.
No, they're not. Not this one. And I'll gesture towards the pot that has the live plant in it.
Yeah, look at the one living one, and then I'll gesture to all the dead ones that are in the room.
Okay, yes, but even in the most perfect conditions, sometimes life doesn't go your way. But sometimes when life is really making you dry up and wither, it's when you can sprout the most beautiful flowers. And
I'm gonna just look at Frog and be like, is she trying to therapize me right now? Is this happening, in real time?
Cass, I'm confused.
I think that's what she's going for, yeah. I do. That is the energy, Nori.
I'm sorry that you had to go through. You all look a little sad.
Why are you touching me?
Nori will then fly 3 feet away and say, okay, you just had to ask for space. I didn't realize that we're trying to work on our nonverbal communication. Can you hear what I'm thinking right now?
Okay, anyway, sorry.
No.
Dead plants, alive plant. What were you saying?
Anyway, nothing. I'm sorry that you all seem kind of upset and sad. I hope that the memory wasn't valuable. It was shitty. I'm sorry. It wasn't a fun time. Do you want to share? I can share. We don't have to share. I'm really confused.
And after another minute of rambling, Cass, I'm just gonna start snapping and be like, Nori, what were you saying about the plants?
Oh, I was just saying that even though life could be dry and dull.
No, not the therapy. What you're saying? There's something specific about this living plant?
Well, yeah. Does it look like it should be alive? No. Can I try and do a nature check on it?
Yeah.
And as she's doing that, I'll pat her back and give her guidance on the check.
And Frog, what are you doing? And if it's panicking in the corner, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's definitely still that, because, re-traumatized.
18.
18. On an 18 for a nature check, you can tell that this plant, as it should not be alive. There's no reason this plant should be living. But it kind of seems to be being maintained the same way that, the dust in the front hallway was. It's been taken out of time, immovable, and existing. So you're not entirely sure if the plant is only alive because it was alive at the time it was like taken out of time, or if it's alive despite that. You can also tell that the rest of the plants do not have that effect on them, but the soil in that plant pot does.
I will share that with the group. Is there anything else that we can glean from this room? Is there a way out? Or we have
This
to
is
go
the
back?
way that you went through. It's the end of a hallway. It's not like there's another sprawling chamber or anything.
Okay. I'll go back through and let you guys know how it is. And I'll go back through the mist again.
And as she goes through, I will again just pat her on the head and give her guidance as she goes through. And I will do this for everybody, whether it helps or not. Just going to let everyone go first.
Yeah, on the way out, nothing happens. You just walk out.
Okay. Well, that was great. To the second hallway! Seasons of... And we'll just go through the seasons hallway, right? That's the one we have left?
Yep. Frog, you'd hear Alto say to you, "We're being our tour guide. She's not very good at knowing what to do." Like,
Frog will murmur back to him and say, "Yeah, she's really not very good. I can't believe that we just went through that. All to look at some plants. I know that wasn't her fault, but I wish we didn't do that."
And
do you think
here
the
it says-
plants are worth because she's trying to learn how to prove herself? Do you think she needs to play with the plants, or do you think they're just decorative?
Play with the plants? Maybe.
No. I think she's gone already, but I feel like she doesn't know what she's doing.
It's a possibility. I have known her to know what she's doing only about 40% of the time.
That's gracious, Frog.
Okay.
Thank you. Even though this is out
You
of time.
can't hear this conversation.
I know.
I guess if they're trying to really be a people that are okay with doubt and unknown, that maybe only knowing what you're doing 40% of the time is the best, and maybe we should just do what Nori does always.
Maybe.
And before I step through the smoke, I'll just be like, "Yeah, I don't know about that," and just start follow Nori out.
Good.
Nora, are you just heading beeline for the seasons hallway?
I'll take a look down the hallway to see if I can see the being or the cleric. But if I don't see anything, then yes, I'll be down the hallway.
It doesn't seem to be down here at all. Yeah, you go down the hallway. At the end, there is no spooky fog door or anything. Instead, it just comes to a glass, essentially a sunroom, but there's no sun coming in, and it's entirely underground. So you're not exactly sure why they would make an entirely glass room just to look at the rocks and minerals that are encasing the area around you, because it's still somehow built into a mountain despite seemingly not being fully on the same plane.
This is really great. Anyone have any... Yes, Cass?
Okay. Do you have any idea what you're doing?
Oh, I have literally no idea. And this room is very confusing. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Gesturing up and looking up down towards stuff. I don't know. It's great. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing.
So, again, outside perspective. I'm not really useful in most of these situations, or ever, passing out, being carried out by the captain that we met. Anyway, I don't know why I'm thinking about that. Your domain is all about life and death, yeah?
Yes.
So, do you think that maybe the two areas are opposite, and you're supposed to be learning the differences between the two and being able to sort of address these situations. Like we just walked out of a room full of dead plants and one living one. So would we assume that if we go back up to the original, not upside down crazy place that we're in, that room's going to be filled with all living plants and one dead one?
Sure, so then this room is going to be full with, like, really cool stuff?
No, I'm thinking maybe you need to figure out how to address the situation. Like, this seems like everything here should be, in quotes, dead. Like, that plant should not have been alive. So I feel like all the plants upstairs maybe should be alive, or something along those lines. There needs to be something you're learning here, is my guess.
1 second. Nori is gonna go run back through the mist, grab the terrarium with the dead plants, run back, and put it in the center of this room to see if it does anything.
Nothing happens.
As she's running out of the mist, Cass is gonna be like, that is not at all what I meant from that conversation.
Then what is the point of this room? It's empty. It's empty. Empty.
Why don't you think about it? What would be the point?
Being able to look at the fucking ground.
Oh, you brought it all the way to this room, like the sunroom, sorry.
Yes, it's not a sunroom, it's a fucking ground room, right?
Yeah.
In essence.
I think
So chaotic.
I think they prefer the term rock room, Nori.
Rock room, I don't give a shit. Ah! By this point, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, you probably have spent collectively about an hour since you've gotten into this place.
Okay, maybe we just go to sleep for the night.
I would very much feel much more comfortable if we went to sleep in the regular version of this temple.
And I'm gonna like drudge back and go down up the stairs, whatever, to go back to the normal plane, and then I'll set up Limu's tiny hut.
Yeah, when you go back up the stairs, the cleric is still waiting at the top of the stairs for you. Doesn't seem to be doing anything, it's just kind of sitting there, keeping eyes as you come up the stairs. Where are you wanting to set up? Do you want to explore the other two parts to see if they're the same before you cast it, or do you just know that this is a safe corridor, I want to do it here?
You know what? Let's go explore the other two. It's only 6 o'clock, it's fine. Go have a little another explore-y-do before dinner.
So are we going, why don't we start with the botany room? What would be the botany room in this normal version of your area temple?
Okay, let's go.
And you head... in this world, there is no mist cloud. There's nothing at all you need to do to enter into this room. And as you walk in, very much like the other room had books, but nothing of meaning, this has all of the snippets of plants on the walls and all of like the herbology kits and everything, but that central like plinth of where the plants were on a table in the other world is missing from here.
So there are no plants.
No, there's like plant snippets and stuff. There's everything to grow plants, but there are no like main central plants.
So we have to bring back the plants.
Okay, hold on. Hold that thought. And Cass is just going to leave the room and start walking to where that, like, bad sunroom was in the other world. And just be like, why don't we go look over here first and see what's over here? Let's just get our bearings on everything we are so confused about. And then we can rest on it for 8 hours and just give it some thought.
Okay, and Nora will run to the other room.
Yeah, and in that room you'd find a lunarium. It's like the same room as a sunroom, except it's always illuminated by pale moonlight. There is a clear image of an eclipsed moon on the outside. There's no eclipse happening here. You all know the astral timeline of the world you're in. There is not a scheduled eclipse for tonight. So whether it's an illusion or it's something like stolen from time, for a night there was an eclipse, you're not entirely sure. But it's like a glass sphere containing a nice little thing with the night sky of an eclipse moon.
Does it feel similar to the one little plant that was down in the other area? Like it was outside of time and space?
Yeah.
We bring that plant here. And then we bring the other plants in the other room. And Nori's just gonna go back and sit and make Lemon's tiny hut and devise a plan to get the plants back here.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and cast your long rest, your spell. If anyone wants to explore a bit more, they're welcome to. You also are welcome to go back outside. It's not like when you went in, the doors shut behind you or anything. So if anyone wanted to do some overworld exploring, because it is only 6:30, a perfectly normal bedtime, you could.
I'll go back to the glass wall if anyone. Sorry, the enchanted black glass wall. If anyone wants to come with.
The other spot you all haven't checked out is the sideways staircase.
In the normal plane?
No, it's in the other place, but you didn't go down the sideways staircase. Yeah. Anyone going with cast back to the glass wall?
Yeah, I'll go.
Nope, I'm gonna be sitting in my...
You can if you cast the hut already.
I know. I'm going to continue to sit in my hut and be so mad and meditate.
The brothers will sit with you, Nori, so that you're not alone.
So once we get to the glass wall, I'll look to Frog and be like, Frog, do you have Mage Hand, yeah?
Yes.
And where are you able to cast that? At a distance, or is it right in front of you, it appears?
Forgot.
You can cast it at a distance.
Yeah, isn't it like 30 feet? Or is it longer than
I think so.
I
Do you
thought it
think
was
it
30.
would
Yeah, it
be-
is 30. It
Do you
is
think-
30.
Would it be a bad idea for you to cast Mage Hand behind this wall? Not to mess with anything, but just to see if it works? Because I have an idea, but I also don't want this temple to hate us. And honestly, I think Nori needs a break, because, I don't know, she's been acting more weird than normal.
Do I have to be able to see the
Well,
place
it's-
where I'm...
You can
see
it's, yeah, you can see through it. It's just glass.
Oh, I see.
But
Okay.
what do you
Yeah.
do? Or do we talk to Nori first about it? It's up to you.
I think I would prefer to talk to Nori first about it.
No, and that's fine, because I think I have a way to potentially get past this, but if it doesn't allow magic to be cast beyond it, it won't work. So that's sort of my thought here. Like, worthy or not, if we can get behind here, it sort of defeats the purpose, but I'd prefer not to die. So, we can always test this out, but it seems like Nori may have an idea of what she's doing. Something about a plant coming up here. Not 100% sure.
Mhm.
So we'll just have to see what she's doing. But for the time being, why don't we go back to the hut? Like I said, I think I have a few ideas, and you being able to cast Mage Hand may work, but I agree I don't want to do it without her here and potentially get us in trouble.
Yeah. Seems like a good plan.
Also, are you good? Like, you looked more freaked out than I was walking through the wall of smoke thing.
Yeah. Just give me a little while. I'll be back to normal. It's nothing you haven't seen before.
I mean, you're not wrong, but that's still gonna check in, you know, make sure you're
Yeah.
doing somewhat. You're less frog than normal, which is concerning.
Valid. Yeah, no, that's okay. We'll be frog soon enough.
And
then with
Frog,
that-
when you say... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was gonna say we just
Frog,
start.
when you say, oh, no need for concern, like, thanks for the check-in, you just hear in your head, oh, and I can always check in too if you need. If you need help, we can talk. Don't worry.
Yeah. Can she like hear my thoughts? Like all of my thoughts? Yes, okay.
If she's
I thought
choosing
so.
to, yeah. You know
Okay.
that it doesn't take her any real energy to listen to everyone's thoughts at the exact same time in her house without being distracted by them. It
Right.
might be harder for her at like a distance, but she seems
Mhm.
to be in your head.
Okay. Well, Frog's like gut reaction is like, "Oh shit, I forgot you were there. Also, I didn't really like that." And then polite reaction is going to be like, that's okay. I've talked about it with some people before and I just kind of don't really want to talk about it right now."
Well, if you need a code or phrase to indicate that I should start listening, we can.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have an idea of what you would like that to be?
Well, honestly, I'm going to be listening all the time anyway. It's just
Great.
whether or not I'm going to comment on it. So it's more a way of you. It could just be, "Hey, please help." Um, it's
Okay.
if you don't want me being involved, I will be less involved. I'm just trying to hold up my end of aiding you in your assistance.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll let you know if I would like you to respond.
Cass, go
Oh,
to make an insight check. And just
I
beat a
was gonna
DC
ask,
10.
am I
Yeah.
just standing there seeing Frog like look up as if like she's looking up at something?
Pretty much, yep.
Insights 11.
Yeah, you know something's like Frog is being Frog TM plus, but you've seen Frog TM plus before. This is not Frog TM plus.
Hmm.
I suppose since I have her here, I could
Mhm.
ask if she knows anything about this wall. Does she know anything
Uh,
about this
the glass wall?
wall? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a wall to make sure that only those who are accepted or chosen or believed to be correct practitioners could go through. You could go beyond it at any time. It's not a I could destroy it for you. It's not a hard enchantment. Um,
No.
it also I think it's meant to safeguard the knowledge because not much is known about them, and they wanted a failsafe to make sure the wrong people didn't take their doctrines and use it for the wrong purposes.
That's okay. We don't need to break it right now. Nori's doing her thing.
Okay.
At
Well,
this
I'm
point,
always here if you need me.
Okay. Thank you. Goodbye.
I feel like it's been like a solid minute and a half, and Cass was just like he's now crouching down in front of you, being like, "Frog, Frog, like, are you good?" So
Yeah. She'll like snap back into reality and be like, yeah, we're good, we're good. Let's go.
Make a
All right.
deception check. Frog.
Great. Yeah. Deception. We got a nat one. Great.
Cool. I think everything swells up in you and you just start crying. As like, yeah, everything's fine. You just go, yeah, it's fine. And just like as you see tears just streaming down Frog's face.
All right, at that, given that Frog's fine with it, I'm just gonna like pick her up like a kid, just like legs under arms, just carry her back to the hut and be like, I get it. It's been a long day. I completely get it.
Nori, you said you were meditating in the hut, right?
Mhm.
Seth's just kind of sitting there. You could recognize he's doing a card game that you had taught him a couple months back. Sitting there having a fun time just playing it. But then Alto kind of looks at you and goes, "So I know the others, they can push you a lot, but like, if you don't know what you're doing, that's okay."
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it, and full honesty, aside from my very lovely tour that I'm just so hopeful you enjoyed, I have literally absolutely no idea what the fork I'm doing right now, and it kind of freaks me out because I feel like I can fly by the seat of my pants a little bit sometimes, and there are things on this adventure that I have known what to do, but this is truly one area where I am mostly the only one. There's not a lot of us, and when we were at the one city that's horrible, who judged me for not following the same people or same deity or religion, but I didn't judge them. So it just makes me feel kind of sad to be by myself. Or, well, kind of by myself, I guess. So I feel like I'm supposed to know what I'm going to do and what I'm supposed to do here, but no idea. So I appreciate the validation and the empathy.
Do you think that might be the point? Like, not knowing what you need to do, but still knowing you can do it anyway? If your whole thing is, like, making it through and everything keeps going, it seems like maybe the place is supposed to be messed up, so only people that know how to know what they're doing know how to go where they're going.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Man, you're pretty wise. Has anyone ever told you that before?
No.
Well, I'm glad that I can be the first person to do it.
You're not gonna get us killed, right?
No. That's why I said this is serious business. As much as it can be. But I promise, nope, we're okay. If I wasn't here, maybe not. But since I'm here, we're good.
Okay. I don't believe you, but okay.
That's okay. I don't blame you based on previous history. Things have been a little bit dicey, so trust needs to be built, and I'm here to build trust with you.
It's not that I don't trust you, it's that I don't trust that you know what you're doing to not get us killed. Which is fine, because we found that when we're all together, we're very good at taking down things that want to hurt us. So that shouldn't be that big of an issue, we hope.
Correct. Yes, I agree. But we won't get killed. We won't get near killed. Cough, cough, frog. But we'll be okay, and we're safe in my little tiny hut. And we're just gonna sing Kumbaya and have some coffee. Nope. Sorry. Have some tea, non-caffeinated, and we'll all go to sleep very nicely.
Well, it is like middle of the evening. Do we have to go to bed right away? Like, I don't think anyone's actually I know you're stressed, but I don't think people are tired.
See, the thing is that I'm kind of tired, and so I could actually go to bed. So no, I have to stay here regardless, so it's okay.
Well, if you have to stay here, that's fine. I think the others are gonna be back soon anyway. And at that, Cass and Frog, you'd both make it back.
And I just walk into the hut and be like, so I think we all think that we just need to chill for a little bit. Frog's having a time. She just like dazed out for like 2 minutes straight. I don't know what's going on, but she's better now. And I'm just gonna like sort of sit down and look at Nori and be like, so, did you figure it out yet, or?
Yes, and then with that, I'm just gonna like roll over and take a nap or go to sleep.
Okay. I think the brothers would look at you and be like, "Oh, did Frog get worse than earlier?"
I don't know. I mean, Frog, if you want to talk about it, sure, but
yeah.
it's.
Frog, it would be like a 3-minute walk back. Are you still sobbing in Cass's arms, cradling you like a child?
No, I think that she would have, like, pulled herself together. She would definitely still have, like, a red puffy face and, like, slight tears coming down, but, not as bad.
Well, I guess maybe we can all go to bed then.
Well, I'm not super tired at the moment, and honestly, I think Nori's really the key to this area, so Seth, Alto, if you aren't tired, I'll stay up with you, and just sort of, we can chill for a few more hours, and I can always nap later. Like I said, I don't think my involvement here is key, per se, so I don't mind taking a little bit of a later rest.
It's key because you have to keep yourself safe.
Yeah, they're down to like stay up for a bit and just kind of like talk. It's been a while since like anyone, like you haven't traveled with them for a while, so they haven't had to sit down and talk a day. The last couple of times that you all had nights together, they had their own room. So yeah, it's a bit like the first time you all traveled together again, being able to sit and talk with the two of them. It's also, not to remind you all how you are a little bit rude to these people, the first time you've made time to talk to them since they came back. Because the first time you saw them, you left them in a state where they were like, did we come on the wrong day? And you're like, no, we're just busy. And then you teleported them to a town that they did not know that they were going to, and put them up in their own hotel room, and then didn't talk to them because you wanted to go to bed and or have a secret talk. And then you set out on an adventure. So, like, they're enjoying the fact that, like, they get to have the talk with you all that they thought they were going to have 5 days ago.
Yeah,
so just kind of like, yeah, if you wanted to tell them anything about what you had all been up to, they'd be just interested to hear in general anything new.
Yeah, I'd catch them up on like, hey, like here's what we've been doing, here's what you've missed type situations, and then I'd sort of deflect it back to them, being like, so what has anything new happened with you guys since we last had a chance to like really talk to you? And apologize for not my rudeness, but like the group in general's, like it's everybody's sort of fault type situation.
Yeah, they like respond back, not that anything's changed, but more like, and Frog, you would know, like the last time you had seen Seth prior to like meeting up, he had intentionally cut off your communication channels so that you couldn't contact him, and that when you had met back up, he had turned it back on willingly. They just kind of let you know that they had a lot of talks about like what closure would happen if it needed to happen. They don't get into it too much, but they seem to have put a lot of thought into Frog's original point of like, if it comes down to saving Seth or saving the world, who gets chosen? And that's really all they get into about it.
Gotcha. And like sort of segueing from that, like sensing not the uncomfortableness, but sort of just the like sort of open shut conversation. Like they're like, well, we've worked through it on our side. Like it just sort of is what it is. I'd sort of like look at them and like look at the other two, I would assume are sleeping at this point, and be like, well, if this spell or whatever it is wasn't affecting you, like let's say it was gone and your guys' lives were as back to normal as they could be, what would you guys want to do? Like, I feel like you guys have been around so long.
Weeks apart from each other and just not talk to each other for like a whole week. Not because we don't want to, but it would just be so nice to not.
So are they both like saying this simultaneously? Like,
well, Seth can't say anything to you.
Oh, right. Yeah. And be like, no, I get that, but I would bet to venture that at the end of that week you probably would miss each other. Just, it can be frustrating being with the same group of people constantly at times, and I'll sort of glance back to the other two sleeping and be like, trust me, I know. But there are definitely benefits to being in a group. But I mean, aside from the week apart, like, what would you guys want to do?
They really don't have a full answer for you for that. Like, they have never had the chance to consider it, so they haven't tried. Like, not getting their hope up because they don't have a reason to hope, sort of thing.
Fair.
But Aldo does respond with like, well, yeah, I'd miss him. Like, an hour into the week, but it would still be nice, you know,
To
have it
space.
be a thing we could do.
Sure, and I get that. Well, I mean, I guess another thing that we never really asked you about is, like, while we're traveling, sort of doing our business, is there anything you guys would like to do or see? I mean, I'm not expecting an answer because I know you guys have been in your home for so long that there's a lot of new things. But don't feel nervous to, if you see something as we're in town or something you are interested in it, just let us know. Like, you guys have accommodated us to the nth degree comparatively to what we've really given you. So when we're back in town, if something comes up, like, please how about this? Let me know and I'll get everyone else coordinated and on board.
The only really thing that the only thing we've talked about is, since we're so far up here, is probably, regardless of how it all goes down, probably won't go back south for a bit. Like, if you guys go south, we will go alone, because I don't know how much you've been to the frozen lands up north, the boreal lands and all. There's a festival of lights that we kind of want to see. We never thought we'd be this far north, and we kind of figured since we're here, we might as well, like, go the rest of the way. But they say it's at the edge of the world, that every night the sky dips down and touches the ground, and it looks like it's being lit up with fire, and is supposed to be really cool. And if nothing else, it sounds like a good spot to celebrate, to mourn, or to watch the world burn. So I think we're gonna head there when it's all done, whatever it is.
Interesting. Well, like I said, keep us posted. I mean, as much as I would like to go with you, I don't know how much time I'll be able to spend, but just know, whether we're with you or not, if you ever want to come down to Ansel, and I'll sort of look at them and see if they even recognize the town name, since it is a small town.
Well, they know the town name for sure.
Yeah, and I was about to say, it's like, I'll be down there when everything here, sort of just gesturing to the hut, is sort of wrapped up. So, I mean, you're more than welcome to come visit. Again, I know you guys are very much homebodies at this point, but if you are ever in the area, please stop by. And yeah, don't make sure you let us know before you head to the festival up north. Who knows? Maybe Nori or Frog or all of us will take some time and go with you, or you can go by yourself, whatever you prefer. But just, again, let us know what's going on with you guys.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we'll know. We'll see what's the precursor to heading north, because there's a lot of unknown right now.
And yeah, and at that point, I would sort of lean back, like laying on like my, what I imagine, backpack, and be like, "Yeah, your guess is as good as mine," and just sort of like put my hands behind my head and just rest, not sleep, but sort of let the conversation slowly fade out a little bit.
Yeah. Nice. And with that, we'll wrap up for today. So that's where we'll stop. All right. As always, thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, listeners, for listening. We are Help Action Needed. You can find us all across the internet, in the spots, on the Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, emailing us, Twitch, YouTube. Technically, we have a YouTube account. If your episodes go there, if you're listening to it somewhere else, you probably don't really need to find the YouTube account, but hey, we have one. Yeah. I don't think there are any special announcements right now. So, yeah. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, listeners, for listening. And as always, goodbye.
Fucking leave, Craig.